Yes, we're live. Welcome back, Gary.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Right, 60 seconds you've got. Grab a cuppa. Got a lot to tackle. Here we go. Welcome back to Talking Turf, everybody. What a weekend, Gary.
It's been a good one, mate. It's been a good one. How the mighty Fowler. The team our group anyway.
In the corner and didn't just come on when they win.
Nah.
The grief we got in them WhatsApp groups after the draw.
Mm-hmm.
West Ham haven't beaten anybody away from home. Nobody.
Well, they're not singing. Well, they're not singing. You must be shit. We're winning away.
You must be shit. We're winning away. What a kick in the balls. Hey, lad.
Wouldn't care. They're normally class at home. The two, aren't they? They normally blow up like teams away. But we'll get a bit, I suppose.
We'll get a bit high. I mean, Jesus. Honestly, I fell asleep. That's how bad it was. The East Stand straight in there. Baboosh. Still talking about little old Newcastle. Yes. We'll love it.
We are tonight. You're right, we are tonight.
Get your seatbelts on. Yeah, we're gone. Right. So, Leicester 1, Chelsea 2, the opening game of the weekend. Jackson scores 15 minutes. The goal disallowed. Maraki, whatever. Fernandez makes it 2-0. 90 plus 5. Leicester get a penalty. And Ayew converts it. And it's 2-1 to Chelsea. Chelsea leave Leicester with all 3 points. Just for the record, you went 3-1 to Chelsea. And I went 2-1 to Leicester. I'm not sure what other people went from. Ferry's in. Obviously, Sunderland's playing the night. He's saying hi from the Stadium of Light banquet. He gets you selling some places. He's got the bat at Ferry, ain't he?
Oh, yeah. Aye, is he?
You're sitting next to Niall Quinn and Kevin Phillips there, reminiscing about the 2-1 win over the 2-1, will he?
Oh, aye.
What do you make of that, though? Good result for Chelsea. They're obviously let's just have a quick look. Third in the league on 22 points, 9 points behind Liverpool. But they're there, Gary, aren't they?
They are, but it wasn't as convincing as what I thought it would be, if I'm being honest. I mean, the first sort of like 20 minutes, half an hour, Chelsea were like, they were really good, but Leicester came back into it. And like you say there, Leicester got a pen late on, but they could have quite easily had another one before that. And the manager, he wasn't happy after the game, like, because the one before that looked more of a penalty than the one that they actually got. And even the Chelsea manager afterwards, and he came in and he said, like, he thought like they got away with one there, like, because they took the foot off the gas. They didn't play that great.
No. I'm right in believing that Steve Cooper's obviously been sacked after that game, hasn't he, for Leicester?
Aye. I think, well, I've read a couple of things. Apparently Van Nistelrooy is one of the favourites to get it. That's just what I read, but I don't know.
He's trying to get into Coventry. As well, you'd be stupid not to take him on. You know, like he's a seasoned player, very good player. And what he did at Man United, obviously, I mean, it was only 3 games, but you know, we'll come to that as well. You know, he got them scoring goals, so it's a no-brainer for me. Like Barry said, he's sitting next to Kieran Richardson Photo incoming. Get it on fair. He was at Man United, wasn't he? He was. Kieran Richardson in Man United's team new would be class. Whereas back then he was slated, wasn't he? He was like, nobody really liked him. But now he'd probably be one of the top players.
He'd start.
He would. So a good result for Chelsea, mate. Albeit I didn't watch it, so I cannot comment. Albeit maybe fairly lucky to come away with the 3 points, but it's all about getting the 3 points in it.
I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, they did have the majority of the ball, but when it comes to good chances, Cole Palmer did have a good one. He kicked it off Madueke. He jumped in the way of it, but other than that, they weren't that great, Chelsea. And Leicester, it was like one of them performances now where you're trying to counter attack and hit on the break, and they've done it well. And like I say, I mean, they look like they should have had another pin, but they didn't get it. But Chelsea, they're gonna be there or thereabouts, I think.
Definitely, 100%. Oi, Melly Barnes says Jordan Welton and Liam Crisp's in there. Bubbles. I'm thinking, what's that? It's Bubbles. Go on, Crispy lad. Good crack. Moving on. Fulham 1, Wolves 4. You went for a 2-0 Fulham win. I went for a Desmond 2-2, so we're both wrong again, mate. How it went. Fulham took the lead early on through Iwobi. 11 minutes later, Kuna again scoring. Ones each at the break. 2-1 to Wolves just after the break. Kuna getting an assist. Kuna then getting another goal, making it 3-1. And Guedes making it 4-1 to Wolves. First off, Kuna, what a player. I cannot see him being there come the summer. Every week he's involved. And when you watch him play, he just makes football look easy. And I think in a decent team, he will be absolutely world class. Excellent win for Wolves. They've turned the corner. They'll be hard to beat them when they find the form, because they're a good team. They've just had a bit of bad luck at the beginning of the season, but the last few weeks there, it's been, they've turned the corner, and they're starting to do all right, mate. They're Fulham's obviously sitting in 9th still. Wolves climbed out the relegation zone with that into 4th bottom, but obviously they beat Southampton the week before, and then the 2 games previous to that against Palace and Brighton, they both got 2-2 draws. So I seem to turn the corner, Gary.
Definitely, mate. I mean, we both said at the beginning of the season, Wolves aren't a bad side. They have got some really good players that can change games. I mean, the left back, Out Nori, I mean, he's a really, really good player. The new midfielder they brought in, that Andre, he seems a good player. And they've been unlucky, when we've looked back at the results over the last few months, they've had bad decisions going against them, and they've been picked late in the dying embers and stuff. And Gary O'Neill was saying they just need a little bit of luck. I mean, to be fair against Fulham, I mean, because Fulham, it's a hard place to go to, isn't it? And they've been decent this season. But he made a treble substitution the other day at 2-1. And then they got an injury. So Fulham ended up playing the last 15, 20 minutes or something with 10 men. And then that was obviously the difference. At that level, it is, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to chase a game.
Massively.
But Kuna, class, really good.
Normally, that's a schoolboy error that you shouldn't be making that kind of mistake at this level, though.
Substitution.
Subs before, at
least leave one or something like that.
Leave one. The 85th, 90th minute, you've got to, you're allowed 5 now, man. You only allowed 3 at one point. So to use all 5, before 70 minutes, it's just stupidity. I mean, you learn from it. You know what I mean? He's done it. He learned from it. But you shouldn't be making them kind of mistakes. Not when
good 3 points though for Wolves. Didn't take it away from them.
Absolutely, mate. Brilliant. Moving on. Boring 0-0 draw down at Goodison Park. And like you said there, it doesn't always go like that, because Brentford got a man sent off in the 41st minute. No God. Everton couldn't deal out with them. It's worrying. It's worrying that they couldn't deal out with 10-man Brentford, Sometimes it's harder to play against 10 men. I get that. They sit behind the ball. But, you would expect the possession to be looking at like 70-30%, but it's not. It's 59-41. They had a lot of goal attempts, Everton. But ultimately, mate, a draw, that should have probably been a win. You've got to convert them draws into wins if you're going to survive in this league, because now Everton are obviously sitting 15th on 11 points, 2 points above relegation. The win that 2 points, 2 points off 12th. You know what I mean, mate? Yeah. That could be the difference come the end of the season.
1,000,000%. I think, like you say there, like for me, like Brentford, they're one of them teams, aren't they? They're deed organised. So I can see how like that's been like a hard game to win, because you can imagine how he would like set them up once they lost that. Like, man, I think, and they're so hard to play against, especially at home. But away from home, like Brentford will be out of the month to come away with a point there, you would think. I mean, it was a lift and tackle, I thought. I watched Match of the Day later on Saturday night, and they didn't seem to think that it was. But, I mean, did you see the challenge or not on Pickford?
No.
So, like, he's sliding in at the back post, and the keeper comes to get the ball, and he like, follows through, and he wipes Pickford out, but it's, like, quite high. The ball was there originally, but then he missed the ball and, like, wipes the keeper out. And for me, it was a straight red, like, but... I mean, a good point for Brentford, but like you say, Everton, they'll be kicking themselves that they haven't getting all three there. Like,
opportunity missed, 100,000,000%. But we both got the result right. It's not the score. We both went for 1-1.
Did we? Right.
Aye. So it was 0-0. So that's 1 point each.
I got the Chelsea result right.
You didn't, man.
I did. I went 3-1. It was 2-1.
Oh, you got the result right. Aye, sorry. Aye. So you get a point.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on. We have got Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. Arsenal convincing winners 3-0, and a goal disallowed in the first 5 minutes from Timber. But then Saka scores. And did you see the goal?
Aye, really good.
Last goal, like. Odegaard assisted him. Thomas Partey, who shouldn't really be playing football in my opinion, but not gone there, assisted by Saka to score the second for Arsenal. And then the young kid come on and scored. Nwaneri, must be Claudio's late cousin or something. Assisted by Raheem Sterling, who hasn't really had a sniff. He's probably regretting going to Arsenal now. He's went to Arsenal and he's not getting a sniff. But what you've got to do is, he came on in the 83rd minute, and 3 minutes later, he's setting the kid up for his goal. That's all you can do. When the manager's not giving you a chance, you've got to take a chance on you when it comes, and he's done that. Arsenal convincing winners, 3-0 in the end. I went for 3-1. No. You went for 3-1. What did Melly go for?
4-0.
3-0. I'm taking all 3 points.
Get in.
4-3. Yes. What do you make of it anyway, Gary? Good result, but obviously expected, aye?
I always thought that was going to be a difficult game for Forest, like especially at Arsenal. Arsenal maybe is like a few weeks back when they didn't have Odegaard. It's like the Rodri effect for me, because I think he's that good, Odegaard. He just controls everything that Arsenal do games like through him. So I'm not surprised to see them like starting to kick on again from now. I just think like when he's in the team, like everything just ticks. Everything goes through him. Like you say, the Saka goal was brilliant. Sterling come on. He assists for the young kid, gets his goal on his debut or whatever. And really good, but I didn't expect no different. I think Raheem Sterling, back on the point about him, I think he's probably the only person that probably thought he would go to Arsenal and maybe start a game, because you're not putting him in front of any of their wingers, I wouldn't say. But he's a good squad player to have. But I think it was a bit ambitious if he thought he was going to go to Arsenal and start. I think he probably got more chance of starting at Chelsea, but I don't know what happened there.
The thing is, if you get Raheem Sterling full of confidence, mate, he's a good player. Like
he is.
He was like Saka back in the day when he stuck to his foot, and if you've got him playing on confidence, he'll do well.
I think he'd do good at the Tuna Summit, me. I think he would have been better against somewhere like that because they need a right winger.
I was just about to say that,
Gordon Gannon's on the right.
West Ham, Everton.
Yep, $1,000,000. That's because he would get more game time.
But like you say, it's ego, isn't it?
Like I think he's thought, I'll cancel the bigger team. We've got a chance to win the league, but you're not going to play him, mate. It's like you need to be playing football at that age.
You're coming to the end of your career. You know what I mean? You need to be playing every week.
I think it was a bad decision getting there, but I mean, good to see him assist though.
Aye, definitely. Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2. Bournemouth losing at home. Doesn't happen very often. I think the last team they beat at home was Newcastle, I think. No, they should have beat Newcastle, but they were robbed, weren't they? Anyway, João Pedro, again, number 1, like Kuna, like I messaged you the other day. João Pedro scores. Matoma makes it 2, assisted by Pedro. Baliba then gets sent off for Brighton. And then 3 minutes into injury time at the end of the game. Too little too late for Bournemouth. Brooks scores 2-1 to Brighton. Brighton now sitting 5th in the league, mate, on 22 points, level with Chelsea and Arsenal. And Bournemouth are sitting down in 13th, just below Man United on 15 points. We both went for
2-2, did it?
You went for 2-2 and I went for 0-0. So we were both wrong. With Brighton again. He's just a young kid, this manager. So not only have they took risks in the past on players and it's paid off, it seems now that they've took a risk on this young manager and it's also paying off because they're hard to beat. Even with 10 men there, like they've come away from Bournemouth a hard grunt again, let's be honest. They've come away with the 3 points. Special mention quickly to João Pedro. I just think he's absolutely fantastic and he needs to stay in the Premier League. And I think a big team will likely come in and they'll end up getting good money again for them. Because he can do it, mate, can't he? He can do it.
No, he is. He's a good player. And you're totally right. They keep doing it. Brighton, for me, it's a good away win, that. I mean, Bournemouth had plenty of chances, like I say. I mean, I watch Match of the Day and stuff, and Bournemouth will be fizzing that they didn't get anything out of that game. I mean, you look at the stats and stuff, and Bournemouth totally bossed that game. But Brighton, the score goals, they're that kind of team where they create a few chances, but they seem to find the net with them. Now when they played against us at the beginning of the season, I mean, they were right for spells in the game. They didn't get many chances, but when they do, they punish you. They just punish you, and they seem to be good at doing that. But Bournemouth, they should have gotten some of that game.
I'm just looking at the stats there. They had 20 shots. But they only had 6 on target. Brighton had 6 shots and 4 on target.
That Evan Nielsen, I'm sure he missed a couple of good chances. That striker,
I think he'll come good, I just think obviously it's his first season. He's getting used to the Premier League. It's taking him a bit longer, but I think eventually he will come good. I think he suits Arsenal. That kind of player, Evan Nielsen. I think he would suit Arsenal, and that's what Arsenal's missing, in my opinion. That's why they've won this weekend there. But I don't think they'll challenge because they need a striker, an out-and-out striker. And they didn't go and get one. Again, another schoolboy error. They should have.
1,000,000%. We said that prior to the season starting, didn't we? That we thought that Arsenal's downfall would be not getting a striker. We were convinced that they were going for Isaac. We were convinced that he was the primary target, and they didn't get anyone at all. But I think that's where they're going to fall short.
He still could be, though. Isaac, the Toon fans obviously went into the way last night to do a stand for him because he's due to the contract renewal. He hasn't signed yet. So then the Newcastle fans done everything they could. What a display, by the way. They keep pulling it out the park, them more flags. Absolutely amazing. You cannot ever criticize the flags display because it's been. And if If they could win a league on flag display, they'd win it, wouldn't they?
They would.
Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2. Palace take the lead through Saw. Watkins equalises. Tielemans then misses a penalty for Aston Villa on the stroke of half time. Palace gone down the other end before the whistle blows and scores 2-1 into the break. Second half comes in. Good old Ross Barkley, Premier League proven, been all over the run. Scores, spoils his equals. Sorry, 2 seconds. I was just looking for what do you call it? And you went for 2-1 and I went for 3-1 to Villa. I think most people on the chat actually went for Villa. With Palace upset the party, mate, and they come away with a draw. Which now Villa drop down to 8th and Palace are second bottom. But Palace lately have picked up 8 points out of the last 5 games. That's what you've got to do, haven't you? Because at one point they look nailed on and they're gone down, mate.
That you see, this is the thing that we thought would happen with Villa, and it's proven to be like what was sort of predicted. And at this time, it wasn't the Champions League, it wasn't like Cup, but it was international breaks. When you start doing well and your team's doing all right, and you start like getting into big competitions, then you start getting picked for internationals. It's exactly the same as what's happening with Newcastle, in my opinion. Because you've got to be careful what you wish for, because obviously you looked at England last week, and then you've got the left back was Lewis Hall, the right back was Livramento, the left wing was Anthony Gordon, and then you're looking and you're thinking, well, that's where Newcastle was struggling last night. They couldn't get up and do like the wings because they're being overplayed. That's the top and bottom of it, because they cannot do it. And it's exactly the same thing with Aston Villa. Like, then Rodgers is getting called up, Ollie Watkins is getting called up, and then the Villa fans are saying, well, Harry Kane's past it, Ollie Watkins should be starting. So instead of just getting away and playing 10, 15 minutes here and there, he's not. He's starting the game, but then that hits Villa harder than what it hits anyone else. You know, Bayern Munich's probably over the moon seeing Ollie Watkins start and Harry Kane not, because they're thinking he's coming back at the weekend.
Look at Harry Kane for his club, mate. He's smashing it. You know,
well, that's what I mean. They're over the moon seeing Ollie Watkins start, whereas Villa fans are thinking, finally, Watkins is start, and I scored. But you're not going to get the same performance out of him being away for 2 weeks for England starting than what you are if he's sitting on the bench. I don't think.
No, yeah, right. And the thing is, they've obviously got Champions League this year, so they're not getting a break at all. And then when it comes to international break, he's away again. You know, it might be traveling on the plane and then playing and then traveling back and playing in Wembley. So he's not getting any break at all now. So I back.
And then you've got the Christmas period coming up where like the games are sticking fast. It's Monday, it's midweek, it's weekend, midweek, weekend, and then you've even got 2 because you did just before Christmas, Boxing Day, and then one in between again. And that's when they start getting injuries. And you take 2 or 3. If you take Ollie Watkins or that Morgan Rodgers out of Aston Villa, they drop massively.
They have dropped anyway, Gary. You've seen the
drop.
I know. Crispy saying Semenya will be a miss their next game with his suspension. Cracking little player. That must be for Aye. He seems to always score. I always put him on my player to score or assist because he's always there or thereabouts. Moving on. Oh. Man City 0, Spurs 4. After such a positive start for City, and probably one of the best goals I've seen this season. Not because it was like a 30-yard smasher, but because of the link up and the play. And then the finish, the dink from Madison to make it 1-0. 7 minutes later, bump again. It's through 2-0. Second half starts. City's backs are against the wall. They come out attacking. And then a player who they signed and didn't play once. Not once. Porro scores, makes it 3-0. And Johnson comes on at the end. Timo Werner leaves like Kyle Walker, like he's injured. Unbelievable. I've never seen Timo Werner do that to anybody. But Kyle Walker, honestly, it was like you just thought, I fancy this. Left him. Absolutely left him. Min ball across the box. Took with the defender and the keepers with the ball. Johnson just buries it 4-0. And I'm, for one, absolutely over the moon. I think, personally, Gary, people compare Pep to Sir Alex Ferguson, and it's a disgrace. Like, this man's lost one player and he's lost the plot. You know, when Fergie lost a player, he always had somebody to come in that would do that work. You know, like, we never really, we lost, like, big players, and did it affect us as much as it's affecting City? I didn't just think it's that, by the way. I also think that they've been founded, like, and it happened. I'll tell you when it happened. I mean, last season, obviously, but against Bournemouth, when they got beat 2-1, Bournemouth were pressing them from the front. And I think teams knew, just think, you know what? Let's just press them and see what they've got. They love pressing City, but they hate getting pressed. They can't deal with it. When you press them from the front, Newcastle's a fine example of it. When Newcastle play them, normally always, the Newcastle got in 1-0 or 2-1 up at half time. They get it in and they say, right, we'll sit on this. They come out and they sit back. And it's the same with England. England get a goal and then they sit back rather than just attack. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's the same with City. You get at them and they kind of play that football. And that sounds simple, but teams haven't. They've been feared of them, you know, because of the amount of, like, running the day off the ball when City get the ball.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because they can pass you to death. But now,
and they will.
And they're giving them a go.
Not 1,000,000%. City are coming to that stage now where they've got like a bit of an aging squad, and they're gonna, I don't know, they've got quite a few players, like so Kyle Walker, obviously you've got De Bruyne, and now Rodri's out for the rest of the season. Bernardo Silva's not getting any younger, and they're getting to that end of their career now. And they've been, you've got to remember, you know, they've been their top players for like the past, like, sort of like 8-10 years. And they're coming to the end of that career where you think, well, shit, we need to be looking to bring like the new in. They've tried with a few players, but it's not that simple. They're going to go through a transition soon, and they're struggling, in my eyes. I honestly thought that Pep was going to leave at the end of the season because I just didn't think he had another rebuild in him. But obviously, he signed that 1-year contract, so they must have money to spend. But if they get hit with all these charges, or if they do get hit with any charges next year, then it's going to be interesting to see what he can actually do with that squad.
He's surprised me. I'll be honest, he surprised me, but because he's won everything he needs to win at City, hasn't he? You know, like,
that's what's surprising us.
I honestly thought he would take an international job because he's managed all the big clubs. Like, I honestly thought he would have took an international job. He hasn't. I mean, he's playing the night, isn't he? I'm sure they're playing the night. City fixtures. Bayern on the 26th. They're playing the night. I've got Arsenal against Sporting on, but City are playing the night, so it'll be interesting to see how. I mean, they're at home. You would expect them to win that. If they didn't, there may be trouble ahead. They're now sitting 8 points behind Liverpool after just 12 games. Spurs have maintained their position. They're sixth, 19 points, but there's 3 teams on 19: Tottenham, Forest, and Villa, all on 19. Then the 3 above them: Brighton, Arsenal, and Chelsea on 22. You've got City on 23, and then you've got Liverpool, who are running away with it, on 31. And speaking of Liverpool, in fact, hold on. Man City, who went for... you went 2-0 City, and I went 2-1 to Spurs. There's another point for me. Moving on to Southampton against Liverpool, mate. Let's just quickly get it up. Southampton against... I'm travelling at this point. We're watching it. Liverpool obviously take the lead through Szoboszlai. Armstrong misses the penalty. He gets the rebound. It's ones each. Second half kicks off. Southampton take a surprising lead. 2-1. Mo Salah of all the people, makes
Mo
it 2
Salah.
each. All right. And then he scores a penalty in the 83rd minute, which sends Liverpool back up to Merseyside with all 3 points. I could
What
say
did
the
you-
score doesn't really reflect the game, but it does. You know, like it's Liverpool had more possession, more shots on goal, goal attempts. But I thought Southampton could have nicked something watching it. You know, like I had it on the what do you call it? I thought, like, you know, I didn't see the penalty. I didn't see the penalty at that point when we were getting off the train and doing the pub. But it took a penalty for them to beat Southampton. I knew it wasn't going to be easy doing that. You went 3-0 to Liverpool, now went 1-0 to Southampton. It's always a hard going to guarantee because you know what I mean. It's not easy. But they'll get the 3 points, Gary. That's all that matters, isn't it? For them.
It is, but like you say, I mean, have you seen the goals back since then or not? My God, for Liverpool's second goal, the keeper comes out to chase a ball over the top, and he doesn't read it at all. He runs one way, and Salah comes through and just stabs it into the corner. Like, it's what a calamity. It should never, ever have been in that position. And then it was just a little bit of, they had like a daft like 10 minutes, to be honest, Southampton, because at that point they were pushing, they looked like they could score again. What a young'un they've got. He's called Diblin, and he's set up like the second goal. He's a talent, him. Like he's gonna be one to watch, I think. Really,
Always
really good.
just talent over the years, though, haven't they?
Aye.
Gareth Bale come from there, didn't he? Sure, he did. You know, there's been some top players. I think Shearer was there, like in his younger days. Matt Letizia, probably one of the best players the Premier League's ever seen, in my opinion. He was absolutely
best left back.
Who? Luke Shaw. Aye.
No, they've had some really good players. Theo Walcott. There's quite a few come through Southampton.
They had an excellent academy back in the day. But Gary, Southampton, like, although like in a few games they've been unlucky, they've played 12 and they've got 4 games that are rooted to the bottom of the table. I cannot see them surviving. I never know Abu Dhabi, but I just think, you know, you've had 12 attempts, you've come away with 4 points, and 3 of them was against Everton. You know what I mean? So for the other 11 games, you've got 1 point out of 11 games.
It's not enough, is it? It's
not enough in the Premier League, mate.
Nah, they haven't got enough for me. I mean, they had a go against Liverpool, but obviously they're playing against top of the league. So again, it's a cup final. Aye, of course it is. They're trying to put a show on for their home fans, but it's against the teams that's in the run where you've got to pull them performances out. You've got to
like on the Wolves through the week and get out. Yeah, they're not. You didn't ever fancy them, do you?
Nah, you just haven't. You cannot see where their goals is going to come from being honest. But nah, they're going to struggle.
Moving on to the most important fixture. In fact, hold on, let's have a quick look. Dave Armstrong. All right, lads, have you discussed the Newcastle game yet? If yes, champion. If not, I'll pop back later. You just stay there, Dave Armstrong.
All right, Dave.
Right up. Man City are also missing Doku, Young, Savinho, not cutting it in the Premier League. And I have Doku, for me, he's another, what do you call him? Who used to play for the Toon?
Maximum.
Aye, St. Maximum.
Aye.
He's not like, you know what I mean? And another thing, quickly, touching on City, is I hate that Bernardo Silva. Class player. But he's a proper little cretin, isn't he?
Aye.
You see him spit, you see him on the floor when he kicked the ball out of his hands and he spat on him. I thought, if you're going back to that, you're getting sent off, but they didn't. They didn't even go back to it. Moving on to the most important game of the weekend. Manchester United, Ipswich Town won, Manchester United won. You went for 3-1 United. I went for 4-0. In the first 2 minutes, I thought we were nailed on. I thought it's clicked. We're back. This is it. Rashford scoring from a Diallo. Diallo, beast doing the wing. Gets the ball across. Diallo playing his new position, obviously. Rashford scores. Excellent. And then, mate, honestly, it was like, absolutely. You'd think somebody just rang us and said, like, you know, like somebody's died. That's how down in the dumps I was, like come half time. I was thinking, what on earth is going on? Yous are actually supposed to be playing here. The manager's come in. He's telling you, like, this is how we're going to play. Like, I get it. Like, they're not going to be able to do what he says straight away, Gary. I get that. But still, you'd be putting everything into it, wouldn't you? Even if you're not playing the way that he wants you to play, you're playing for your place.
1,000,000%.
I mean, Marcus Rashford scores, right, mate? But for the rest of the game, like, I just thought, wow, you should have heard the jip the man was getting in the crowd behind us every time he got the ball. Like, every time. And then there was an incident, right, just before half-time, right next to the away fans. Mazuri, who's class, by the way, and he's going to be a pivotal part for Man United. He gets absolutely smashed from Delap, right? And Delap, like, stands up and pushes him.
Aye, when he went through the back of him.
Aye, and I was watching the rest of them to see, like, who's going to go up and kick off and, like, nothing. Like, they were coming up and, like, trying to pull him away and stuff. And I thought, yeah, man, it's at that point in front of us.
Get into them.
You need to get into him. Right into his back. Like a Roy Keane. Back in the day? And that's what's missing from United, mate. Somebody to get to grips with him and say, look, what you doing? But we haven't. We've got a captain there, and Bruno Fernandes, who runs around like a heedless chicken, right? He does put the work in, but he moans every time like somebody does a wrong pass, or the pass doesn't come to him, or he doesn't get the pass. He's at them. To me, that's like negativity. There's ways and means, like you've got to be like, how get up for it.
I don't think he'll last under that manager, if I'm being honest. Because I just didn't think
what he said.
I just didn't think he likes
you want
that.
More instead about him.
I just didn't think he likes that sort of attitude. And Amaron said that we're missing like a Roy Keane, like in the changing room. That's exactly what Man United need. And he's totally right. It's not Casemiro because he's too old.
Yeah.
So he's not going to do it. Eriksen, I think he was just putting them out to fail, if I'm being totally honest. I think he set them out there and says, look, I'm going to give you a chance. Like, put you, look, there's your starting chance. Show us what you can do. I thought the keeper was class. I thought Diallo was really good. I thought Mazraoui was good. I thought De Ligt was all right. Johnny Evans, he's getting on. He's not going to be a starter anyway. Martinez is going to get in there. I thought Delua was shit again. Get the ball away just with every single time he got it because he tries to come inside on his right foot and he shouldn't play right foot out left back. I thought when Luke Shaw come on, I thought he'll be good again if you can keep him fit, but you're probably not going to be able to do that. And then Bruno is, like you say, shocking attitudes. I just didn't think the new manager is going to want a captain. That's like that sort of character. It's not like it's no good for anyone. It's just not. And the creativity, like I mean, Garnacho, it's his decision making. He's a good player, but he makes the wrong decision. I think at the wrong times. Xerxes, I would put him on a plane back to Italy in the morning.
Mate,
Højlund will be alright. He wouldn't. I think Højlund. I think that there's probably a player in there with a good coach. I think you can coach him because I think he's got like all the sort of things that you need to be like a good player.
He's a trier. Do you know what I mean? He might not be the most gifted footballer, but at the end of the day, he's a striker. Do you know what I mean? So definitely. Like I was saying to you the other week when we were having the Haaland discussion, right? If you put Højlund in the middle of Man City prime,
you score goals.
And that's what you got to do as a team. Where he couldn't create nothing.
Did he hear his interview after the game or not?
I watched it back.
So after the game,
Sharon come barging in like, who the fuck you? Fuck off, man.
Did he hear what he said about the last like sort of 5 minutes of the game? And he says he goes, so we've got the ball, he goes, you've got Bruno Fernandes, you've got your wingers outside the box, he goes, passing the ball around, he goes, I've brought 2 strikers on the pitch. Put the ball in the box. Like, it's simple. Like, I've put 2 strikers on, they're stood in the box. Why are you passing it around the edge of the area, backwards and forwards? Cross the ball into the box.
Dalot was getting absolutely pelters, mate, because, like, 86 minutes, we're drawing ones each against Ipswich Town, right? The ball comes to him, and he passes it back to Shaw. And then Shaw goes on a run, and Dalot stands still. And he's like, pass it back. We're like, over fucking lapping, man. You lazy get. You haven't got a clue what you're doing. You're shit. You're shit. I'm not what anybody says. He's crap. Yes, it looks good, like he puts the effort in. And if if that was a trophy for High Five champion, he would get it every single week. Because every time he makes a tackle, or every time he wins a throw-in, or he's high-fiving people, and you're thinking, it's so negative. It's so negative. The play of Man United, like, it's play to one side, switch, play to the other side, switch, play back to the other side, waiting for that gap. Get at them, man. You're a professional footballer. Get them. Create a chance. Get a corner.
Now we're taking
somebody's fucking leg out. It's just shit. You're passing it back safe. It's shit, man. Nobody wants to fucking watch it.
It's always the safe option. It's always the safe option.
Honestly, you know what it is, mate?
He'll have a field day with them.
It was Melvin's first away in, and Crispy come doing, and I was gutted for them that they didn't get the win. Like, but on the other hand, right, we've got to it's gonna take time. He's playing with Ten Hag's players, Ollie's, Mourinho's, fucking even Van Gaal and fucking David Moyes or some there. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing with other people's players, and they're not good enough to be at Manchester United. They're probably not good enough to be in championship teams, to be fair, mate. So he's got a good core players, I think. The likes of Garnacho, Ahmad, Højlund, Menu, Martinez, Delicnu even, Euro, Mazuri. Keep Luke Shaw injury-free, mate. He's fantastic. That first half, that Amari for Ipswich, I kept saying to Liam, I was saying, he's a player, him, like.
That's Hutchinson.
Mate,
good player.
He's tearing work apart. Well, nobody could get anywhere near him. They doubled up on him at one point, and he still just skinned them for the... Honestly, he was absolutely mint, and he was tiny. And then the second half...
City,
eh?
From City.
He brings Luke Shaw on, right, in the second half, and Shaw cut him out the game completely, mate.
Of course he does, because that's what Luke Shaw does. He's so good at it. He's so good at it.
Very, very good. If you can keep him injury-free, mate, he will be pivotal for United. You need to bring somebody else in because he's getting on, and he is, he's very fragile, but he's very good. He was on him constantly. He couldn't do out. He switched wings and everything just to try to get away from him. He was mint. Absolutely.
And Luke Shaw, just even being there, he pushes them back because they didn't fancy it as much.
Aye.
Whereas with Dalot, now that he's because Dalot is like one of them players where he'll not stand you up. He's trying to snap in to get the ball, but as you're getting it, and he's easy to get and pass because you turn it around the corner and you're away and you leave him. He's so erratic. Whereas Luke Shaw, he's a class defender, man. He's really good. We've said this for a couple of seasons. So if we can get where starting back five, especially now, it's a good defense side, and it's just the ones in front that we need to work on. Obviously, Manu's been injured, but if you've got a guard here, Manu, that's going to be your midfield. And then it's a pick of the wingers, isn't it, really?
If he adds 4 or 5 diehards into that team who just want to play football and, they're not, they're there for the money as well, because all of them are, but who want to play football, because a lot of them are like Xerxes, Rashford, Casemiro, Ericsson, Dalot. The list goes on and on and on. I mean, Dalot put a post out on fucking Facebook last week on Twitter saying, follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn and see what I do outside of football. What? You're making fucking 150 grand a week, man. Forget about LinkedIn. Forget about buying hooses and dealing. Focus on your football, son. You're making enough money. When you're finished, fair enough. Oh, get a personal manager or something to do that for you. Focus on your football, man. Stop trying to get people to follow you and fucking, say you're building a house or, you're investing in these businesses and that. Focus on your football because you're shit, dickhead. Honestly, I was...
Right, 1-1. What have we gone for anyway?
It makes it worse. You come at the train station, you think, fucking hell, I've got fucking 7 to us to go on yet. With the stadium, sorry. You think, Jesus. We left this house at 7 o'clock, I think, right? We walked back in. I finally shut my eyes at 2:30 in the morning. It's a long day, that. A long, long day.
For a
stadium,
point. For 1 point. For 1 point.
For 1 point and a shit display.
Oh, no.
Somebody was saying to me, like, I know it's his first game. I said, I know it's his first game. But the same players have scored 8 fucking goals for Ruud van Nistelrooy in the last 3 games, man. They should be putting it out there. They're playing for their place. That one game there, they should have been literally dying on their feet coming off the fucking thingy. So he's looking gone. Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, he's played the players that he's trained with, really, apart from, like, the regulars. He's obviously trained with Evans and Casemiro and that because they weren't away. So he's played them and Eriksen. But
apparently he likes Mount, doesn't he?
Why wouldn't you like Mount again if you keep him fit? He's a quality player. Mm-hmm. He was really pivotal for us at the beginning of the season. I was saying he's come out this season a different player. He looks like he's playing for the shit. You know, like he wants to play football. But
he was excellent against Brighton and he went off injured at half time, didn't he? Changed the whole game, didn't it? He was the only one that pressed everything at the front, wasn't he? He was mint, but you keep him fit. There's a player in there, and I just hope it works out for him.
Aye, probably replace Bruno over here. You know, like because
I think that's what he's there for.
Bruno wants to play the long ball every time. That's not what we want to do. You know what I mean? Moving on to Monday Night Football because 46 minutes in. Yeah, I haven't even played the ads. Newcastle 0, West Ham United 2. Piss poor performance, like to put it bluntly, from Newcastle, I thought. Although they had 18 goal attempts, but just 2 shots on goal, mate. Whereas West Ham had 6. I watched the game. I'm not going to lie. I fell asleep during half time, like up on the run up to half time. Woke back up. It was still just crap. Souček scores in the first half for West Ham. Like, the biggest lad in the box and he's left unmarked, like to score free heater. That is absolutely criminal in my eyes. And then Aaron Wan-Bissaka scored 2 goals in his career, 1 for United and 1 for West Ham. And guess who they were both against?
Newcastle.
Aye. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka making it 2-0. But I think I've got to give a special mention to Jared Bowen. You know, like, I thought Jared Bowen was outstanding again. He might not set the world alight, Gary, but he's a very good player. Like,
he is, and he gets a boot, doesn't he? He's not lazy. He doesn't just want to go forward. Like he gets back and he helps his team with. And nowadays he never ever seems to be injured. Like he's always in that team, which is obviously mint for West Ham, and he scores a lot of goals. And now he's had a few links to Liverpool over the years, but I don't know. He's probably one of them players where I think, like, if he was to make that step up, I think he would just sit on the bench and then he would regret it and he'd end up like having to drop back doing it again. In my opinion, that's the kind of player. I think he's at his level there. I don't think he's anything better, but I think he's good enough he's a good player, in my opinion.
I think it's Newcastle and that. They're the kind of players that you want to go for, mate. You know, like Premier League proven players. Like
right midfielder again, like another one. I think he'd suit Newcastle doing the ground.
Will he leave West Ham though? That's the thing, you know. Like he's obviously settled there. He's got a couple of kids there with Danny Dyer. Danny Dyer's a massive West Ham fan. He's West Ham kid.
Happy,
you know what I mean? Like that's the thing that I was saying the other week to people who thought I was taking the piss. Like it's a hard attraction, Newcastle. So you need a good manager. If you haven't got the attraction of like a city, like London or Manchester, or success, should I say, then you need something, and that something needs to be a manager that's got pull. You know, like, oh, you're relying on like gambles. You're relying on gambles. Exactly.
Or it can take like a bit of money where you make like the marquee signing, and then that signing.
You're attracting the right people then, aren't you?
Sometimes, but I think you can do it the right way. But it's like it's a good profile, but that comes from like having a good manager, doesn't it? Because only them types of players are going to get into like good managers where they think we can win a league here now. Like if say Pep or someone went in again, or the mean business here, like this is what we're going to try and do. Or like,
let's say, for instance, Pep Guardiola against the tune, mate. Then they're going to attract a lot of good players, aren't they?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what we need. Eddie Howe isn't going to attract that. It would have to be big money where players aren't going to force, or like Gray. Say City had to come in for like 55, 60 million in the summer. He would have forced that move to play for Pep, I think. Like to get Newcastle and play for Eddie Howe, I didn't think so. Like, and he didn't give him the captaincy. It hasn't got that pull.
No.
But
Newcastle, the one thing they've got is a togetherness. And I was talking to somebody tonight, and I was surprised actually. And he said Anthony Gordon's absolutely shit. And I was like, took it back.
Oh God!
Like
that's disgusting.
He's probably one of the best players there, but they're obviously watching it week in, week out. So it'll be interesting to see what people say in the comments.
I don't think he's shit.
He just says he doesn't do enough. But we'll see. We'll see what people's got to say. Dave Armstrong saying Bowen would not come up here. His last would not move up here. And Paqueta ran the show for West Ham. Everything's so easy to him. 2 steps ahead of everyone. Bowen was class as well, linking stuff up. I'll quickly flick through these messages here before we hit the ads. Man City read that 4-0. What's that shit badge on your coat? Elton Juniors, you nutter. Oh, well, lad. Oh, well. Like that bloke on the train, like a cat when you said someone died. Oh, I'm not getting into that. Jesus. I'd rather have Melvin Jr. on the pitch than fucking Zigzag Zerky. Mate, he's so bad. Like, it's unbelievable. Michael Adamson, Midge. Man U and their fans are just used to success. And now you are going through the transition that other clubs have had to go through. It just looks like you as fans in a club have not got the patience all other clubs have had to endure, in my opinion. You've hit the nail on the head, mate. You've hit the nail on the absolute head. Because of our success, like, majority of fans think it's a given that we should be winning games, we should be winning titles, and that's not the point. That's not the case, you know what I mean? Like, hats off to Morum came in and he addressed that straight away, and he goes, all right, without a doubt, Manchester United were the biggest club in the world, but they're not now. They're 13th, and they're 13th for a reason, and it's my job to change that. I've got all the faith in the world in them, but it's the players, and I've said all along, it's the players. You know, like, they're getting rid of 6 good managers, majority of these lot. And I just hope that he sticks to his formation and he doesn't try to, like, change it just to grind out results. I just hope that he sticks to it, and then he gets players who whistle his tune, and then we'll be playing again. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion.
1,000,000%, because, like I say, like, some of them players have been there, but why have them players been through 6 different managers? Which is, like, that's my question. Like, how do you manage to do that? How can you spend 1 billion post Alex Ferguson and then still have the same shit? The same shit, or a bunch of shit still there? Like, it's
Casemiro before Scott. I would have
that's it. I mean,
before Wan-Bissaka.
Wait, Fred, like, people have laughed, but Fred was the best midfielder. Like, all them, like, he was the one that, like, Amaron would have loved Fred, because he will run and run and run and run. And you need grafters in your team. If you're not playing great, you need people that's willing to run. And he was a willing runner.
Aye.
And you need that.
You had Fred and Pogba and McTominay, and everybody was thinking, oh, we'll just blame Fred, you know, like, because he makes shit passes. But really, like, the man, like you said, would run all day long, and that's what you need.
Sometimes that's what you need. And I didn't think he was as bad as what people thought, but I get the transition comments and stuff like that, but it's hard to accept that when you've spent $1 billion, because, like, that's not just the managers, that's, like, the club from top to bottom. That it stinks. That it stinks.
It's been rotten,
like,
hasn't it? Like,
I get like transitions, and, like, if you're on a budget, but I mean, this is Man United you're talking about. Yeah, it's like $1 billion. Like, you should be able to play like a good team like 4 or 5 times over, in my opinion. And so everyone's feeling massively there. So it's a little bit more than that.
It's criminal.
It is.
Liam Crisp, he had us on strings. He's on about that Amari. Unbelievable player. He continues for Ipswich. Like, that decent bigger team will go in from. That's an absolute certainty. The Trippin experience is worth every second. We'll do it all again in a heartbeat, win, lose, or draw. Absolutely. We were absolute wank, says Scurf. Yep.
Hello, Scuff.
Definitely. You all right, mate? Gordon's class. The thing is, mate, we run everything through him, and Isaac and team knows that now. So when they can double up on him, and then it's hard for us. I think it's absolutely right. Kevin Hawthorne, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. That'll be taking the piss 100%. If not, good afternoon, Kevin, or good evening, even. Yes, Skirp, I hope you're well, mate. Thanks for joining me. Yes, we're going to hit the adverts, Gary, because obviously people pay for these forward to help her, to support her, and we like to support them back. Some cracking companies on here, so watch them. And if you need anything from anybody, give them a shout. Tell them you've seen the advert on Talking Turf, and I'm sure you'll get a discount. Back in 2. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only $5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Bed, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialize in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. And last but not least, Most Cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 07787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz. Yes, we're back. Quickly, though, the championship at the weekend. Millwall, Sunderland, 1s each. Oxford against Middlesbrough, 6-2 to Middlesbrough. Cracking, convincing win. Sunderland now sit second because they're currently drawn tonight against West Brom, nils each, and Sheffield United are winning. And Middlesbrough are up to 5th, Gary, with a game in hand. Looking good. Looking good for the North teams. We've got Sheffield United, Sunderland, Leeds, Burnley, Middlesbrough making the top 5 there, mate. So could be good. And quickly, just the Champions League tonight. Give you a quick catch up of the British teams anyway. With Barcelona, let's just say the big teams. Barcelona 1, Brest 0, Bayern 0, PSG 0 in the big game. Man City still drawing nils each with Feyenoord. But Arsenal beating Aldermorum's team 2-0. Martinelli and Kai Havertz scoring for them. Let's quickly do our predictions. Please get involved in the comments if you want. I'll read them out as we go. Click on here. Have a look. First up, Gary. Brighton against Southampton. I'm going to write them down again.
When's that one on, like? Friday night?
Friday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. Gary, Melly, Brighton, Southampton. What are you going for?
I'm going to go for 3-1 Brighton.
3-1 to Brighton.
Yes.
I'm going to go for 2-0 to Brighton. Has anybody commented yet? Yes, Liam Crisp said 3-0 to Brighton as well. We'll move on, and if anybody comments, we'll click on it, mate. Wolves against Bournemouth.
Ooh, I'm going to go for Desmond Tutu.
Desmond Tutu.
I draw.
I am going to go for a 3-1 home win. Wolves are finding a bit of form. 3-1. I'm going for. Next up.
Crispy's went 1-1.
Chris, has he? We've only got Crispy in the comments tonight. Everybody must have gone. 1-1. So another draw. Right. So next up, we've got Crystal Palace against the Toon. What are you going for?
I think I'm going to go for. I'm going to say Newcastle 2-1. I think they're going to turn the corner. Bounce back. Aye.
Nah. I'm going for 2-0 to Crystal Palace. What are you going for?
2-1.
2-1.
Crispy's went 3-1.
Who'd he?
Newcastle. He's shaking his head.
Mental. Absolutely mental.
Just one.
Aye, so Crispy's gone 3-1. I'm just going to do this, Gary, quickly. For John Warrington here. John Warrington is a friend of mine. Friends with a lot of ex-Man United players as well in the past. And they are starting up. It's not a messenger. It's on my WhatsApp. They are starting up. It's a soft launch podcast. The English Are Coming podcast, it's called. He's asked if I can do him a favor, like and subscribe, which I have done, and also get close friends and family to do the same. Want to have us close to 1,000 to the launch. Content is okay so far, but some good stuff coming over the next few weeks, he says, ahead of the proper launch in January. So if you could, go on to YouTube and search up The English Are Coming, and this is what you're looking for. That logo there. Excellent name, John, by the way. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, go over. He'll have some cracking content on. I know that. He's a top man. He's a genuine guy. He's one of the good guys in life. And he's done quite a lot. He was the guy behind, the Legends, Five-a-Side.
Right, aye.
He was the man that sorted all that. Lovely guy. So get over, like their page, give them a follow, and you'll not be disappointed. I guarantee you that. Where were we, Gary?
We were at
Newcastle.
Palace.
Yes. So next up, we've got Nottingham Forest against
Ipswich.
Ipswich, yes. What are you going for?
I'm going to go on 2-1 Forest.
2-1 Forest. I am going to go for Ipswich on the back of a good result there, against us. They'll be bouncing. I reckon it'll be one each.
They're probably expecting to win.
Yeah?
I says I don't think so. They're probably expecting the people.
Should have been one. 1-1. What are you going for?
2-1 to Forest.
2-1 to Forest. Forest against Ipswich. Next up, we've got Brentford against Leicester.
Brentford will win that. 2-0.
Aye, I'm going 3-1, mate. West Ham up 2-1 to Forest, says Liam Crisp. John forgot to include a message. Oh, I don't know why it does that. Oh, stars. Thank you, John. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Hey, we're doing all right, you know, Gary, now with the thingy.
What's that?
Algorithm.
What's that? Like?
So like people can send you stars.
All right.
So you get cash for the stars, you know, like
yes, money.
I'll get you chip buddy from the chip in the morning. 3-0. There's Liam Chris, the Brentford. West Ham and Arsenal. How do you see it going, mate?
I can't say anything apart from an Arsenal win, to be honest. I think Arsenal will win 3-1.
3-1.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 to West Ham.
You love the underdog, don't you?
I do. I back them every week, you know. I'll put 4 or 5 underdogs on every week.
When was the last time you won a bet?
Eh?
When was the last time you won a bet?
Chelsea against Villa. That's a good game.
Chelsea Villa.
He's gone 3-1 Arsenal. Sorry, mate. Total different team with Odegaard, he says.
1,000,000%. I'm going to take Chelsea to win 2-1.
Chelsea to win 2-1. I think it's going to be a Desmond Tutu.
Yeah.
No, they're not doing our wheel, Aston Villa, but they get draws. Like that'll be the typical game where they're going to turn up. So I am going to go for a Desmond Tutu.
Do they play Villa or not?
What's that?
Do they play? Aye, they've got Juventus tomorrow night now, though, you know.
Who, Villa?
Aye.
What about Spurs? In the Europa League on Thursday, they're not? Conference League?
Yeah. Villa's got Juventus at home, and Chelsea have got Hindheim.
Oh, sorry, I'm on Tottenham v Fulham. Chelsea's got what?
Hindheim or something.
Away.
Aye, but they can change the whole team, can't they?
Oh, the way though, aye.
Aye.
On Thursday.
I'm saying, but Chelsea's got where they can change the whole team, can't they? And like it'll be a total different. I think Chelsea will win it.
Crispy doesn't all. He's saying 2-0. Tottenham and Fulham.
Tottenham against Fulham. I'm going to say Spurs 3-1.
Spurs 3-1. I'm going to go 2-1 to Fulham. I think. Next up, the most important fixture of the weekend. Manchester United against Everton. 1:30 p.m. kickoff at Old Trafford. The theatre of dreams, not streams. What's your prediction? 4-1, he says, Crispy the Spurs.
I'm going to say 3 now to Man U.
Are you?
Aye. I was going to say 6.
I had Hoyland for a hat-trick at the weekend. And then Crispy...
You haven't had that bet on for a season, have you?
He's not playing. I was like, cash out, £5, hat-trick, Rashford.
And then when he scored, you were like, it's in this.
Oh, no.
He's minted.
Ruben's Reds, 3-0 since Crispy. And I'm going to go for 4-0 United. Come on, man. Pull it out the bag. Topping off the weekend, the 4 o'clock kickoff down in Merseyside, in the dirty part of Merseyside. It's Liverpool against Manchester City. How do you see it going?
Personally, I cannot see anything other than Liverpool win at this time. Like, I'm going to say 2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool. Nah, I think it'll be. I'm gonna go for ones each.
You can't bring yourself to say it, can you? You just want to pick either. I can read you like a book, can't I?
Oh, you know what? I've fingered off my phone there, so I need you to quickly. When I went off to find John's message, I lost the scores. What did you say for Brighton Southampton?
Who?
Brighton Southampton.
I think I said Brighton 3-1.
3-1. And I went for 2-1, didn't I?
I think so.
2-1. Wolves against Bournemouth. I went for a 3-1 win to Wolves.
I think I went 2-2.
Desmond. And Palace against Newcastle.
I said Newcastle 2-1.
Newcastle 2-1. And I'm going for 2-0 to Palace. Right, that's what predictions in, Gary, lad. Happy days. Yeah. Anybody else went on? Hopefully match abandoned, but 3-2 to City, says Liam Crisp. Right, so I just want to quickly end on this, if we can, Gary. It is present, share screen, yes, X, share. Here's a couple of things that I've bookmarked out of the last week. First up is Little Melvin here.
He can play. Where does he play?
The song that he made up himself.
Tialo. I'm a Tialo. He is on my shade. He can fly my dream. And he can play. Where does he play? So my boss be winning.
Go on, son. Little hooligan in the making. Bookmark this because I thought, you know what it is? Like, it's nice to see this. Well done to West Ham, says NUFC News 24. They deserve their win tonight, and a massive shout out to all of their fans who travelled up on a Monday night. And I echo that, Gary, because, you know, a Monday night in Newcastle, you know, like the following was unbelievable. Most of them probably can't get home, so they've got to have a hot ale as well. So that's why I bookmarked that. I'm sure you agree.
No, definitely. We know how hard it is, like getting to and from games. But without the fans, it's nothing, is it?
Nah. Football without fans is nothing. Same channel, NUFC News there says, does Howe have a problem with Tonali or just generally love Longstaff? Can't find anyone with basic football knowledge think we're better with Longstaff playing than with Tonali. Last time Sandro started, he ran the show and was the best player on the pitch. It's so bizarre. And, you know, like, I disagree with that, mate, because I think Longstaff brings a lot. I think they've won every game that Longstaff's played in, to be fair, apart from last night. Tonali is a great player, but you need to find space for him. You know, like, he's, you know, in my opinion, do you drop Longstaff? He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's Newcastle through and through. He'll run all day long for you. He's not a flair player by any means, but he tries his best. What's your opinion?
Well, I think that that's Eddie Howe's job, isn't it? It's like to try and get him into the team. In my opinion, Tonali's better than Bruno Guimaraes. So, in my eyes, I think he should be starting in front of him, and then he should be trying to find a makeshift place for Bruno and not for him, because I mean this kid runs the team for Italy, and I mean I think he's Newcastle's best player. Like, from what I've seen, I just don't think anyone can like touch him. Like, he's got that vision and everything. I mean, Bruno is one of them players. He's a bit of a shithouse, isn't he? Like, he wins your fouls and stuff like that. But this kid's going to create your chances. He's going to win your games. He scores goals. I just think they're putting the wrong man in the team. If you've got to pick one of them, but I think he's better than Bruno, like 1,000,000%.
In my opinion, mate, like you would have Tonali and Longstaff and Bruno in front of them with Joe Linton and Gordon on the wings, and then Isak up front. That's how I would play it. Then you've got a good, strong midfield, haven't you?
1,000,000%. Or I mean, you can put three in there. You can put Joe Linton. You can put Longstaff and Tonali. And you can, I mean, they've spent that money on Harvey Barnes. Every time he comes on, he seems to score, and the kid never gets a start. Like, put him in and Gordon on the other side, and then I sit up front. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be the same all the time. Like, you're playing that many games, like, just mix it up. But like, he just seems to be out. It was the same last year when they won the Champions League, I thought. And it was just the same team week after week, and then the same team starting the Premier League, and then you just think you're burning your players, but you've got good players, and you're going to spoil your squad by not rotating it. You've got to play them.
I think that's like the majority, you know, when you hear the Eddie Hout, the boys come out, the Eddie Hout boys. And that's the argument, is that he hasn't got any plan B, Gary. He's just like, he's one-dimensional, and that was proven perfectly last night. West Ham set up. They knew exactly how they were going to play, and they counter-attacked that, and it worked. He didn't have a plan B. He couldn't change it. And it was just, it ended up being a boring game where Newcastle deserved to get beat. That's their argument. He hasn't got that. He plays his favourites every time. You know, like, and he'll not change. So you can see why they're saying it anyway. Moving on, the 1958, which is obviously a massive Manchester United supporters group who protest against the Glazers. They're actually standing hand in hand this weekend, Gary, and they're doing a protest at 12:30 at the Trinity statue. And it's not for the Glazers. It's because of, well, it is in a way. It's because, Gary, that, let's see if this will show more. Associated group of the FSA and together with Everton supporters group that protested on Sunday before the game to support their current Stop Exploiting Lightly campaign. 19 out of 20 Premier League clubs have increased ticket prices this season. FC 58, Everton, Liverpool and City supporters will display the FSA banner to raise awareness that any future season ticket price increases, removal of concessions and treating match-going supporters as an easy target to make quick revenues will not be tolerated. With the discussions around the rebuild or redevelopment of Old Trafford, we need to send a message to the club that we are laser focused on keeping football affordable and looking after our loyal match-going fan base. United and Everton supporters will display the banner before our game on Sunday. Liverpool and City supporters will display the banner before their game on the same day at 16:30. We said that we would change the game for the betterment of our club and football to ensure generational fans and communities are represented. This is just the start of key, truly independent fan groups working together to represent the common fan on the street, working closely with the FSA. Real change takes courage. Real change takes passion. Real change takes dedication. We've got big plans, big ambitions, and we will be successful. Purpose, action, results. Join us before the game. I think we should maybe scan that over there on time, FC 58, because if you look at this, the highlight a bit. This is Manchester United's ticketing office, by the way. 97% of match tickets for the season have already been sold, with 5 age-related discounts available to our fans. Now that all major ticket releases have taken place, we have reached capacity of discounted tickets, and any future tickets released for this game will be sold at £66 for all fans, regardless of location or age. I think you've got to agree with them. Like, they're just hammering fans all the time, aren't they? Like, £66 to watch a game of football.
Unbelievable.
It's absolutely shocking, mate. I think this will get a lot of traction because it's like they kind of keep doing it, man. They're like, if I give my tickets back to the club, right, them tickets are not face value anymore. They're selling them at £396 per ticket, saying that it's a premium seat. Like,
but if you want to sell it, the club will tell you you've got to sell it at face value.
Face value? Against touts, like,
do as I say and not as I do.
Aye, and something needs to be done. There needs to be somebody who comes in and like takes control of this, because you go out to Germany, it doesn't matter if it's Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, or whoever. You're paying £5-10 to watch the match, man.
Tickets. They've got full stadiums, wouldn't they?
Aye, it's not just full stadiums, but you're opening up, mate, to, like, not everybody's welcome, Gary, you know what I mean? But everybody loves football. So you might have like Joe Bloggs who's sitting in his house and his mum and dad on
got a spare tenner.
He can never get to the match. It's a dream. It's a dream. Make it affordable for everybody. Football is for the fans. It's as simple as that. Like I was saying to you the other week, somebody was saying to me, they're not bothered about revenue from the stadium. That's a like drop in the ocean, like they want sponsors and stuff like that. Well, if that's the case, drop your tickets to £10 a match. Make it affordable for everybody. Doesn't matter what background you come from. Make it affordable for everybody. Stop preying on people's vulnerability. It's a bit like the summer holiday carry on in our schools. You take your kids to school, but in the summer holidays, we'll put the prices up £2,000 dearer. It's exactly the same kind of shit. Somebody needs to get a hold of it and say, no, you're not doing that.
I got a letter on another subject. I got a letter when I took the kids to the school when one went to Florida for my 40th, and I got a letter saying that I had to pay, I think it was £80 a week per child or whatever, because I took them to school. I sent an email back and I was like, you took them to the training ground at Newcastle, you took them to Flamingo Land, you took them to Beamish, you took them to a night over, stop doing the country somewhere. You've taken them to New York in the November holidays. You missed a day of school and you want to go skiing next year, you can stick it up your ass. Didn't pay it, and I've never heard a thing back. Didn't pay it. Didn't pay it. I had no intention of paying it. And I was told by someone that works in the school, so anyone that's on here or listening, you do not have to pay it. Refuse to pay it and they will not get back to you. Trust us.
So they shouldn't. What happened to football is for everyone, says Connor. It's true. It's true. It's the pricing everybody, the pricing like a lot of people, should I say, out of the game. Fabrizio Romano here has said Diego Dallo, Ruba Amorim is exactly what we need for this type of club. He's very demanding. That's the standard the club should have, by demanding people are very professional, really professional, working hard for the team. That's a clear message that he gives us every day. Well, I'll tell you what to do. You can't get your coat on, pack your bags, tell your lads you're done. Because once that happens, you aren't getting in that squad. Numpty. Who's the better goalkeeper this season? Andre Onana or David De Gea? Forget about this season. Who's the better keeper, do you think, Gary?
Honestly, I wouldn't like to say it. Onana was terrible last season. He made some absolute howlers, but this season I cannot really fault him. So he's been good, but it looks like David De Gea has been doing it well now. And I'm not going to slate ex-players. He used to make mistakes and he got bullied in the early years, but I love De Gea. He's like he was a club captain and he was a player of the year for that many years. So I don't think it's right to start like Calvin and ex-players. I think they're both.
Who's better keeper though?
De Gea.
Right, listen, that's an hour and 20 minutes done, Gary. Flies hour, doesn't it? I'm gonna go in and have a show on MET and stuff. Thanks very much, everybody, for commenting, joining, watching along. Do us a favour, go over to YouTube and subscribe to her. Share them every time we're on. Let us get out of as many people as we can. Thanks very much, Gary, for coming on.
And give him one night up.
Give him one night up. Aye, again. To get easy, says Liam Crisp. He was good in his day, but he was never like, he's never like a Edwin van der Sar, was he?
Aye, you asking if he was an Antoine Onana? He's better than him. Oh, lad.
Good night, everybody. Thanks very much.
Cheers, lads.
Okay. Ta-da.